Have you ever been to Venice? Because I didn't. What's up everybody, welcome to the Life of a Board Gamer. My name is Daniel and we are doing some Kickstarter previews today. So today we are talking about Venice. Now this game is already on a Kickstarter. You have like I think 8 days to back this one up. It is already funded, so while you are watching this video you sure know that you will get your game. Now you can just help push it that little bit further and decide on some stretch goals maybe or something. So yeah, let's quickly go down on the table. Let me explain you how the game works. At least I will try. I'm not good at it, and then we'll talk some more about it. So let me give you a quick rundown of how the game works. Basically this is a game that is set up for 3 players. And how do you play the game? On the first turn you will use your gondolier and you will put him in one of the gondolas and you will drive him around this canal to different spots that you can visit, and paying the cost for each. Like for example this one costs 2, but since it's my first movement is always free, so you will cover it just like so you know that you will not pay for this one. Then you can move here, and for example I can say I want to stop here and do the major council activation of the building. And some of these buildings, as you can see, these 3 buildings are already printed on the board. They always stay there, and all of these buildings around are shuffled randomly and put around the board, so it gives you kind of different game each time you are playing. So yeah, so once you are done with your turn, you will say I'm done with my turn. You will pay all the cost if you had any for traveling around, and basically you are trying to collect resources in this game and deliver them to different locations and do these missions. So you have lots of these missions. Now not all of these cards are going to be in play, because you will have a set amount of cards depending how many players you are playing. And basically let's say for this mission you have to have 2 orange, gray and 1 scroll, and you will get 5 points and 5 coins if you deliver this to Senate. So if this gondola for example has all these resources and I have these scrolls on my player mat, which we'll explain the player mat a little bit later, you will get all these coin bonuses, bonus money and bonus points and money. So you need to go to the Senate and deliver that to the Senate. So you also have workers. Now how the workers are deployed on a building. So once, let's say for example that I moved to this building, I can deploy my worker here, and now this worker will produce 1 gray cube for me, which is awesome. But as the game progresses, these workers will move around these places, these spots. There are 4 different spots on the buildings. Let me just show it to you from the up close. So as you can see, we have 4 different spaces on this building. Each building has 4 spaces. So this worker will move around this church space, and once he reaches the last space he will stay there, and then he is the strongest worker there is for this building, because he can do all of these actions. So for example if this worker is here, he can only do these 2 actions, and once he progresses here he can do this action and this action if you end up to activating him. And so you will be leaving your workers around the board, and the thing is that there is only 10 workers and there are I think 12 spots, so there's less workers than spots that you can leave them on. So you have to be careful where you want to leave them, because once they are there they cannot be moved or anything else throughout the whole game until the end of the game. And also you have these bridges. Each player will get 2 bridges, so you can build these bridges over those coins. Now you don't have to pay nobody has to pay, neither you nor other players when this bridge is here, but you will also get some benefits if you are going under this bridge, and other players will not get benefits if they are going under your bridges. So yeah, that's basically what can you do in a game. The greatest thing, which I really love, is why you have the second gondola. So once everyone has played their turn and it's your turn again, for example, you can pay 3 coins and stay in the gondola that you are in, which is always like super good stuff, you really need it. But no, if you don't want to pay, you have to move to other gondola and you have to play with that other gondola now, which is I think, really cool thing, because now you have two gondolas and you're trying to match things up, because if they meet each other you can trade resources between them, so you can work that in your way to deliver some missions to some different buildings or whatever mission tells you to do. Also, if you meet with another player who, let's say for example this guy is over here, and if you meet in the same space, you can share the same space. You cannot share the same space with your own gondola, but you can share it with any other players, and they can be even 3, 4 or 5, because this game goes up to 5 players. So you can share the place. Somebody will get some victory points depending who came here first, who was second, who was third. All the other players will get some points, stuff like that. But if you decide to move further, not staying on the space where the other players are, you will have to pay some intrigue. You will have to earn some intrigue, and really you don't want to earn intrigue, because at the end of the game, the player that has most intrigue is going to be automatically arrested, and he cannot win no matter how many points he has. So yeah, that's something you don't want to do while you are playing, and I'm apparently really good at it. So while we are talking about intrigue, I want to show you the board, the player board, a little bit more. So you have scrolls over here and you have intrigue, and as you can see you can get some negative points. If you have 8 intrigues and you need to receive some more intrigue, each intrigue will give you -2 victory points. And you have to have some scrolls, because some deliveries require you to have scrolls, so you have to give scrolls. And as I already told you, at the end of the game, who has the most intrigue will be automatically arrested. And once you fulfill, let's say for example you fulfill this mission, the mission always has this ongoing effect that you will slip under this player board, and now you have an ongoing effect that works just for you. So this one says, if you gain at least 1 intrigue from a building or another player's turn, gain 1 scroll and 1 coin. So when you are gaining intrigue, you can also gain scrolls and coins, which would work perfectly for my gameplay last time we played it. So, but I didn't get it, unfortunately. Basically, you will track these 2 things here, and this is just to explain you how your turn works. So optionally you can play one of the influence cards, and these are those cards, these are those cards, and basically they will give you some bonuses, some abilities for that turn. For example, this one says gain 1 mission card or gain 2 victory points. It's really up to you how you want to use it. So you will play some influence cards. You will either move your gondolier to another gondola or pay 3 coins, as I already told you. And then you will move your boat with the gondola, your gondola with the gondolier in it. You will move that one. You will resolve meetings between workers. You will hand in mission if you did some missions, and you will advance and activate building where you end up, because you put your workers. If you end up on a building and you want to stay here, you will put your worker, and if your worker was already there, he will advance 1 space, as I already was talking to you about advancing throughout the spaces and all that. The great thing is other players can advance your buildings. For example, let's say we have workers like so, and I'm the purple player, and I decide to go here. I do everything that I do on my turn, and then I need to advance workers. Now my worker advances, but no 2 workers can share space unless it's the last space of the building. So you need to move your worker 1 space, other player workers, you need to move them 1 space further. So other player just upgraded your worker. I'm sorry, I didn't zoom in. So other player will just move your worker from, let's repeat this because we were out of focus. So my gondolier moves here. He does everything that this field does. He moves the worker, but now, since they cannot share the space, the worker will move over here, and I upgraded green worker for free, which is really, really awesome. And yeah, so when the game ends when there is no more mission cards to draw from the draw pile, or when, because you have this coin, this tracker, and for 3 players you will put it on 12, and this major council track, when some of the players hit the 12, you will put it at the end game. There will be 2 more turns to play, and then the game ends. So yeah, basically that is like a quick rundown of how do you play Venice. Okay, so that was Venice, and I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little bit different, if you don't understand me very well, because I'm catching some cold and my nose is clogged up, so I apologize for that. But yeah, basically that was like a quick rundown of how the Venice plays. And I'm not the best guy to explain you in every detail how the game works, but overall it is really a nice, interesting, different worker placement game. I like these two gondolas that you have to manage at the same time and watching for other players, because you don't want to cross paths with other players, because then you lose your resources that you are driving on your boat, or you have to take some intrigue, which is always not good in this game. So managing all that, it's really challenging. It is fun, it is interesting, it is different, and I like that really much. Of course, these are the prototype components. The final game will look much better than this. This is just so you can get a feel how the game will look, and how you have the feel how the game works and everything. So yeah, I think it's a great game. It is in the same line. I want to say spiritual successor, but that's the wrong word. It is in the same line as Ragusa, the Kickstarter preview that I did. I still have to review that game. So it is, as you can see, the backgrounds are pretty similar to Ragusa with the font of the name of the game and everything. So this is from the same guys that did Ragusa, the Braincrack games. I almost said Black Crack Games, not sure why. But yeah, managing those gondolas, I like the randomness of this game. I mean the randomness in setup, where you will shuffle buildings and put them on the board in whoever knows what way will they come up. Sometimes there will be some great paths that everyone will try to use, and other times they won't be there because the buildings are not matching, because some of the buildings work really well together. But trying to balance everything is pretty challenging, pretty interesting, and I must say I really enjoyed playing this one. So while it's not too late, you have like 8 more days, I think 8 more days. So go check it out. It's a link is in the description down below, so go check that one out. Even if you are watching after the Kickstarter ended, maybe you can pledge for it if you like what you saw. And yeah, that is that. Thank you all for watching, and until next time. Pozdrav.